What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be my review for a G-Status ATL Hustle, the reunion part 2. So, I looked at the reunion last night. I looked at it again just now. Just want to make sure that I want to hit everything I want to hit. Alright, let me just go to my notes. I'm going to do like I did last time. I'm just going to go off my notes. So, we started off the reunion where we left off with Corday arguing with Sherrod, and they took like a little 10-minute break. When they came back after the break, we saw a little bit more with Hakeem. He talked about, one thing I respect is, even though Hakeem made he threw some jabs. I'm not going to say he didn't, but, you know, he was like, it's really not fair for us to keep talking about Milan because Milan's not here to defend herself. Now, he threw a couple of jabs about the wig and how he had the same wig on for 6 months and all that other stuff. But, I mean, ultimately, he really wasn't going to engage in an extended conversation about what went down between him and Milan, other than what he'd already said. Caleb, who was one of the hosts, he made it clear how he felt about the people who chose not to show up, and I feel the same way. I just feel like you start something, finish it. Even if you have a problem with production, even if you have a beef with the way you were edited or the way things went down on the show, at the end of the day, first of all, they can only edit what you give them. That's one thing that others, you know, you hear other reality stars talking about how they would edit it. But, you know, at the end of the day, they can only edit what you give them. Yeah, they can edit it to make it look a certain way, but certain things that are said and certain things that are done, that's still you. Secondly, if you did feel like you were misrepresented or you were edited incorrectly or whatever the situation is, now is your time to rebut all of that. Now is your time to speak your piece and to say what you have to say. So, all the more reason why I feel like those people should have shown up, especially Milan, because so much of a lot of the stuff had Milan in it. Like, True was always on the fringes. Zafar was always on the fringes, for the exception of that, the party they had at his house. He was really on the fringes. But Milan, you was dead smack in the middle of a lot of that shit. And Caleb basically said he think it was some punk shit for the people who ain't show up. And I don't disagree. I don't know if I would have necessarily used those language, but I don't disagree that language, but I don't disagree. Again, we talked about Hakeem and some of his charges, which I ain't gonna lie, I was a little curious. You know, he stayed in and out of jail. I was curious as to what he was being in and going in and out of jail for. Now, I'm sure with modern technology, I can Google it, but I ain't that damn impressed. Like when he asked the question, I was like, oh yeah, but I definitely wasn't about to Google Sir Hakeem. But it sounds like he had some domestic abuse charges, which they didn't let him explain, and I think because they kept cutting him off. I know that Hakeem can be long-winded, but they kept cutting him off when he was trying to explain why he got the charges. And I think something like domestic violence, I think it warrants him being able to explain that, because on paper, domestic violence could mean a lot, and it could really be something that will make people look at you side-eye. But if there's a legit story behind it to explain the charge, I feel like they should have given him that opportunity. Because now I'm like, okay, domestic violence, well, what the hell? Like, who did you hit? Who didn't you hit? Who hit you? Like, what happened? Like, now I do want to know, because that's a serious charge. Like, if somebody says, well, like for example, he said, I ain't paying my probation. Well, that's not a charge. You had a charge to get on probation. So what the hell did you do? You know what I mean? Like, what was the charge that got you on probation? That's what we want to know. Riding around with no insurance. Okay, we got that. But that's not going to get you arrested either. That's not going to get you. That'll get your car impounded. But that ain't going to get you arrested. So anyway. But I love Sir Hakeem. And he said, you know, hey, I'm an open book. So he did throw a couple of things out there. They asked Charlie about his listening party. And he did admit that the sound system was less than optimal, that it was playing out of the DJ booth, and that, you know, it wasn't the best representation of the song. But what I do like about Mr. Charlie is that he sort of flipped it on them, because they said, well, you know, what was your reaction to the cast, you know, their interpretation of your song or whatever? He said, well, what's more important to me is not their reaction, but the world's reaction. Oh, excuse me. I said, I know that's right, Charlie. You better let them know that this goes beyond G-Status ATL Hustle, that you got people listening to your song worldwide. You better let them know. You better let them know. I ain't mad at you, Charlie. Charlie said, well, what's more important to me is the reaction I got worldwide. I said, bitch, you better tell them your song is worldwide, bitch. But that was good, you know what I'm saying? And I like the fact that it is getting, some recognition. And, like I said, I felt like he admitted that it was a less than optimal situation, but I still feel like he could have done more, even with the sound system being screwed up. I feel like it was more he could have done, but it is what it is. It's over, it's done. They started talking about dating and who you like, and somehow or another came up about Corday liking feminine guys, and Caleb was like, well, I don't mean no disrespect, but do you consider yourself feminine? And Corday said he considered himself regular. Now, I don't know what his definition of regular is. I don't know if he mean regular like heterosexual regular. Like, I don't know what his definition of regular is. But if I saw Corday in a setting, talking, whatever, I would probably think he was feminine. I would. And I don't mean that in any disrespect. I don't mean that in any negative way whatsoever. I really don't. But I would probably, assumption I shouldn't make, but I would. He's very soft-spoken. He has very feminine gestures, in my opinion. And that, you know what? I shouldn't say that, because that ain't going to come out right. That's not going to come out right. I shouldn't say that. How I want to say it. I think I said enough. I think I put my foot in my mouth significantly. Anyway, I'm just going to stop and move on. Sometimes when you dug deep enough, you just need to just stop. All right. Now, I'm equal opportunity. December. All right, let me say this. First of all, so December came out on stage and he was booed. Now, I saw him. I usually don't. I try not to, but I do it anyway. Bring stuff in from other interviews. Now, he said that he was booed because there was a lot of people in the audience who were Sherrod's friends, and that's why he felt like he was booed. I don't know. It could be. I don't know. But he was booed when he came out there on stage. Now, what we found out was during the little break that they took earlier when Corday was upset, December went for Sherrod. And December explained that there was a live earlier on in the week that Sherrod came into, and the two of them got to arguing. I was in that live. I know exactly what he's talking about. I was in that live. I saw when Sherrod came into the live, they got to arguing, and he told Sherrod, I'm going to beat your ass at the reunion, on site, da-da-da-da-da, fine. So that's what he did. When he saw Sherrod, he tried to run up on him. They broke him up, but they were really about to fight. Then he was backstage arguing with the producer, with KL, the other producer. We know everybody knows Ja, but the other producer that worked from Fashion Week, they were arguing. And basically, KL was telling him, look, be professional. Like, you are here. I need you to go out there, and I need you to be professional. And December was saying he was upset because they had kept him in the back the whole day. They didn't let him come out for the majority of the reunion. And they sort of kept him in seclusion, and he was irritated by that. I can understand that. I 100% understand that. But here's the thing. Couple of things. The first one is this. One, you were only in 2 fucking episodes. So the majority of the reunion didn't include you. The majority of those storylines didn't include you. So they didn't need to bring you out. You've seen other reunion shows, Love and Hip Hop, Real Housewives, what have you. When there are people, now you may not consider yourself a B character, but for season 1, you were a B character. You didn't show up until the end of the season. So for a B character, you don't sit on the couch the whole time. You just don't. Now, you caused a lot of shit in the 2 episodes, maybe 3, that you were in. But at the end of the day, this show has been on since June. You have only been here for November. So, you didn't need to be out there. Number 2, you had physical altercations with Sherrod, True Fine. You tried to attack Corday. Your time was cut short because you don't fucking know how to act. You don't know how to control yourself. And it's not cute. December is not cute. I don't know if you're going to look at this review or not, but, and me and you have, I'm just going to go on and be real. I've talked to December through Instagram before he was on the show, while he was on the show. I don't give a fuck. So you know me. I'm going to keep it straight to you. It's not cute that you don't have any other coping mechanism other than violence. It's not cute. And there's a part of me, my anti-side to you, says you need some counseling, boo. You really need to figure it out. You need to figure out why you feel like your best and only option in conflict is through violence. You really need to figure that shit out. I don't know if it's... But you need to figure it out. And that's coming from love. Because I don't dislike you. I dislike some of your ways. Here's the other thing. You like to keep telling people that you're from the suburbs, you're from the suburbs, you're from the suburbs. Boo, I'm from the suburbs too. And let me tell you something. The suburbs does not make you immune to hood shit. So don't act like just because you're from the suburbs that this ain't how some people in the suburbs get down. Yes, the fuck it is. Yes, it is. So, well, I ain't gonna say I'm from the... I grew up in the city, but I ain't grew up in, like, the hood of the city. But I grew up in the city. I went to private school my whole life. So, but at the end of the day, I was at private school with people who was coming from mansions. And it was some of the hoodest mofos you gonna meet. So, one does not exclude you from the other. But it's almost like you bragging about this wonderful childhood and this privileged childhood. But then you proud to be a thug. Pick one. But you still young, and I get that. Like, you're young enough to be my son, and I get that. I get that. I mean, I would have been a teenage mom, but that's not the point. But I get it that you're still young, and you're still trying to figure it all out. And the one thing you did say in your interview with Ty Couture was that you're young, and this is who you are right now, and in 5 years, you might look back on the person you are right now and be like, he was a dumb mofo. Like, I get it that you understand that you're just in the moment and you just living your life in the moment. I respect that. I do. I respect your carefree lifestyle. I respect the fact that you say, hey, if I'm not happy here, I will pack up and I will move. I'm not tied to anything or anywhere. When I was your age, I felt the same way. I was young. I had my little college degree. I could take the job that I do. I could move anywhere in the country and do what I do. And I did. To an extent. But my thing is, grow up. Understand that you are getting in your own way. Now, I don't know a whole lot about your personal life, but in this show, even to the point where you got into an argument with the producer, not once but twice, and you threatened to fight the producer, you gotta figure out a better way of dealing with conflict. That can't always be your first response, and that can't always be your only response. There are times where I understand people getting physical. I still don't say it's okay. But I understand you feeling like your back was against the wall. Sherrod knocking that cup out your hand was wrong. It was wrong. And you hitting him was still wrong, but okay, you hit him. But the constant coming back. Then you showed up drunk. Again, I'm going to say the same thing I said about Hakeem last week. If you feel the need to always have to be elevated, whether it be through alcohol or through some other means, you might have a problem. This is a job. This is a professional situation. The fact that you stumbled when your ass was on stage, the fact that you said you can't even remember half of what happened because you were so lit, that's not cute, Dre. That's not cute. It's not. And just like I lit up Corday when I thought Corday was being a brat, I'm gonna light you up because I feel the same way. I feel like you just have some ways about you that are very immature, but you're a smart guy. You are so smart. But I feel like you're going to outsmart your way out of some great opportunities. Because no matter how smart you are, no matter how great of a personality you are, no matter how cute you are, no matter how pretty your smile is, at a certain point, people are going to be like, we don't fuck with him. And it doesn't take long for word to travel through the grapevine. Atlanta is small. You say you probably going to leave Atlanta soon. That's cool too. But the world is small, boo. The world is small. And you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to have that reputation. You don't. He came out. I didn't mean to go on that tangent. My bad, y'all. You throwing shade at Sherrod. Cool. Y'all had that conflict, so y'all was throwing shade back at each other about the whole porn, not porn, friends only, whatever. Okay, whatever. The whole storyline of Sherrod being a porn star is so dope. It's just dead. It's over. It's just done. Like, it's done. It's just done. The whole thing about the text message came up again with Corday, and Corday again tried to clear up why he did what he did. It doesn't matter. You got a text message. You went to Sherrod about it. Sherrod went to Dre Simba and asked Dre Simba about it. So what? Like, who cares where the text message came from? The fact of the matter is, the text message told Sherrod that Dre was talking trash about him, and he went and confronted him and was like, "What's up?" That's pretty much where it was. And then even at the end where you just walked off the stage, I'm like, again, they were wrapping it up. Why was that necessary? It's like, and I heard him say once before, I've heard him say a couple of times about, you want a good show, you look at the Housewives, that's what y'all want to see. Y'all want to see people fighting. Y'all want to see, no. Yes, we enjoy the drama. Yes, we enjoy the conflict. That is why people tune in. But you can't always be the fucking Tasmanian devil. It can't like, Jocelyn Hernandez got to be that way towards the end now, and I'm hearing rumors that she coming back. But you saw how she thought she didn't need that show anymore. So she totally was like, fuck all y'all, and I'm this and I'm that. And everybody she got into a conflict with, she wanted to fight. Like, it was never any chill. If you always start here, there's nowhere to go. If you start here, you can slowly move your way up. But if you always start at 10, there's no way to go past 10. Anyway, that's my review. It was a great review. A reunion. I think they did a really good job. The hosts were great. The venue looked nice. I said that last week. I think the questions were great. Shout out to Ty Couture. The questions were great. The participants who chose to show up, even when there was conflict, even when there was maybe some shade or something like that, you guys were there. You stuck through it, and I can appreciate that. Charlie performed Pussy Cunt at the end. Okay. Right? He performed it. He gave it to us. He gave us the pussy cunt. Now it's stuck in my head because I done looked at it twice, right? I must say, the fact that Hakeem is now going to be an executive producer for season 2, kudos and shouts out to that. Charlie, I think, if I had to give awards, I would say, Charlie, I feel like you have taken this platform and used it in the most positive light. Towards yourself, as far as advancing your career, advancing your music, putting yourself on a platform, not making yourself look too one way or the other. You had your little shady moments, you threw your little shade or whatever, but at the end of the day, you walked away with a new fan base. I know for me, I never heard of you, but I like some of your music and I listened to some of your songs. So you walked away with a new fan base, and you walked away with a foundation to move forward. If you choose to come back for season 2, I look forward to see what Pussy Cunt did and how you've been following up. He said the video was coming out soon. Sherrod, I think, again, if I'm giving out awards, I'd give you the runner-up. I think, Sherrod, you've taken a very challenging narrative about yourself. Some decisions that you've made, you've owned it, you frustrated, but you've taken it, and we see that you're doing a lot of acting, you're doing modeling, you stay booked, boo. You stay booked. So I think you've been another person that's taken this platform and used it in a very positive way. And so I look forward to who's coming back next season and where this is going. Like I said, I applaud Ja and the producers. You guys did a really good job. Even through all my critiques or criticisms, at the end of the day, kudos. Kudos to the production. And with that, I'm out. Peace.